was thinking what we would do today. I wasn't sure if we would work to hand balances or back bends. Let's see how it progresses. I'm tending towards backward bends, so we'll see. We'll start off with the hands resting on the knees, creating a circle with the index finger and the thumb. Sit tall, close the eyes, and just try and observe yourselves, observing the body, feeling that length in the spine, broadening across the collarbone. Trying to relax the shoulders, keeping the chin tucked slightly or ideally parallel to the ground with the head retracted back. Trying to get the neck nicely lined up with the rest of the spine. Really work at trying to soften those areas that you don't need for sitting in a good posture. So we're softening the shoulders, the face, the arms, the mind. We bring all our attention to the breath, starting to inhale through the nose, long deep breath. And then exhale through the nose. Long, slow, deep breaths. Trying to make the exhale as long as the inhale. So start taking a longer pause at the top of the inhale. So we're breathing in as much as we can. We hold the breath for a second or two, and then we release. Repeat a few more times. Inhale. Hold the breath, and then exhale. Start bringing the right ear to the right shoulder, stretching out the left side of the neck. Letting the head get heavier with the breath. Inhale, the head comes back up. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale the head up. Exhale, looking over the right shoulder. Turning the head, trying to look behind you. Inhale to center. Exhale, we turn the head in the other direction. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bringing the chin towards the chest. And then slowly come back up. Interlace the hands. So just stretch the arms out. Just hold it here. Just hold that position. I just need to check something. And then start bringing the arms over the head. So we're stretching forward, shoulders back, and then we bring the arms up. This can be a challenge for some people, so if it bothers the shoulders, just bring the arms down a little bit further than vertical. But if the arms feel good, the shoulders feel good, maybe you can frame the face. So I'm trying to straighten the arms, I'm pulling the shoulder blades down slightly. So I'm reaching up and down, if that makes sense. Up with the arms, down with the shoulder blades. Trying to get those two opposite forces helping with the stretch. And then we interlace the hands behind and interlace the other way. So normally we do it one way like this, so interlacing fingers the other way, which feels a bit weird, but behind the back, we're pulling the shoulder blades down, shoulders down, shoulder blades in, and we hinge. So I hinge looking up, I go as far as I can, and then I tap my chin as I bring the arms up to the ceiling. And then we come back up. Cross body stretch, extending the right arm forward, shoulder back, and you're going to pull that arm in towards you. Getting tall, finding an easy stretch and going deeper with the exhale. And then other side. Arm forward, shoulder back, and then we pull that arm in. And release. So you know that thread the needle we do? Slightly different variation. The usual way that I get you guys to do it is we're on our hands and knees and we thread one arm behind the other arm and we're pushing into the ground. So my right arm, right side of the face is on the mat, and I'm pushing the left hand into the ground. And that is a nice stretch for the lower back. Now, if you start to bring that top shoulder towards that extended arm, you get into more of a shoulder stretch. So try that. Try bringing that top shoulder towards that extended arms. And the forearm of my left arm is on the ground. And I can use my body weight to stretch out that shoulder, that lower shoulder. And then we come out. So it's a little bit like this stretch, the cross-body stretch, but we're using the weight of the body to go a little bit deeper. Start off with the usual way, extending the arm, so left side of the arm, left side of the face on the mat, right elbow pushed up. So this is going to stretch out the back. We take 2 or 3 breaths here, and then we start to bring that top shoulder towards that lower arm. And you're going to feel more of an arm stretch and a shoulder stretch. And then we come out and we do cat-cow a few times. Inhale, belly down, head up. Exhale as you round the back and tuck the chin. Inhaling cow, exhaling cat. And this is always nice to do, especially before you do any backward bends or forward bends, because we're getting the spine nicely warmed up. Trying to get a little bit of mobility there, warming up the joints. And then we're just going to hold cat. So the back is rounded, the head is totally relaxed. Walk the hands so to make sure the wrists are under the shoulders. Then you can go a little deeper into the cat pose. The back, if your back is in good shape, the back should be happy with this. Like any pose, if it starts to hurt, don't go too far into the pose. So we're going into the pose, rounding the back, head relaxed, without any discomfort, without any pain. And then we come into cow, belly down, head up. And this time we glue the hands to the mat and we're trying to pull those hands towards us, pulling the knees towards the hands. And you're going to feel that engaging the core. And then we come into neutral. I'm just going to walk my hands forward just an inch or two, and then raise one arm. I'm raising the right arm, thumb facing up. I'm trying to lift that hand higher than the shoulder, and I'm bringing my whole body a little bit more forward. That's going to make you work the core a little bit more. Can be a little bit much on the wrist, so just take care of the wrist. And then if you want, opposite leg comes up, but we're still lunging slightly forward. You're breathing. Great way to stabilize the back. Strengthening the core stabilizes the back. Bringing the other arm up, trying to get the hand higher than the shoulder, and then we lunge slightly forward. We're breathing, we're not holding the breath. We bring the opposite leg up, still trying to lunge slightly forward. Trying to keep the hips equidistant to the ground. You know, I'm not bringing that back leg up too high. And then into child's pose and totally relax. And then slowly come up, sitting on the heels. Bring the hands behind you, fingers are lined up with the toes. We tuck the chin, we start opening the chest. Head goes back carefully. Breathe, so my elbows are slightly bent, and then if you want, you can bring those hips up. Opening the whole front body. And then we come back down onto the sit bones, onto the knees. Let's go back into child's pose. And then, but this time we're going to come onto the elbows and bring the forearms vertically, palms together, and you're pushing those elbows into the ground. Bit of a shoulder opener. Breathe. Into Sphinx. Elbows under the shoulders. Make fists with the hands, tuck the toes, lift those hips up, looking directly at the ground. Hips as neutral as you can get, not too high, not too low. You're pushing into the ground, especially with the elbows, trying not to sink between the shoulder blades. And then, a couple of choices. You can hang out here. You can bring the knees down if you need to take a little breather, or if you want even more challenge, you can bring one leg up for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We switch legs, other leg comes up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We come all the way down. We walk the knees underneath the shoulders, keeping the elbows under the shoulders, no wider than shoulders, palms together. Into dolphin, or version of dolphin, hips are up and back, and I'm pushing the mat away. I'm trying to get more and more of a straight line from those elbows through the shoulders to the hips. Back is neutral. Bending the knees if you need to keep the back neutral, and breathe. We bring the knees down, we bring the hands under the shoulders, slightly forward of shoulders maybe. Downward facing dog. Feet close, a couple of inches between the big toes, and we start walking the dog, stretching out those calf muscles. And then we hold one leg straight, one knee bent. At the same time, a deeper downward facing dog. Note that if you go into a deeper pose, you almost get a straight line at the wrist, so there's less pressure on the wrist the deeper you get into the downward facing dog pose. You're trying to keep the back neutral, trying not to round the back. Other leg straight. Take a few breaths here. And then bring the right leg up to the ceiling. Extended down dog. Stack the hips. Trying to bring the right hip over the left hip as you bend that top knee. Hands solidly on the ground. And then we extend. And then bring the foot down. And then up the other leg comes up. We stack the hips. Bending the top knee. Back into down dog. Right leg up again. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can touch the right elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, right knee to chin. Inhale, extend. Top foot joins the bottom foot. Inhaling the other leg up. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, extend. Right elbow. Inhale, extend. Knee to chin. Inhale, extend. Top foot comes down and then into child's pose. And just relax. Coming to regular plank. So just like the forearm plank, as the back is neutral, and we're trying to pull up between the shoulder blades. Again, if you want to take an easier version, you can bring the knees down. Bring one hand to center, come into a side plank. So lots of variations here. You can bring the bottom knee down, top foot down, you know all these variations. Top leg comes up, a little bit more challenge here. You can even grab hold of that big toe with the top hand. Back into plank, and then side plank on the other side. Whichever variation you want. Back into plank, and then we bring the knees down, and we're back in child's pose. So planks are a great way to strengthen the core. Planks are good, and people don't like them, but they're really good to strengthen up. Back on your hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale as you fold forward. Bend the knees and we come all the way up. And we're back in mountain. So from a standing position, we're going to take the feet more or less hip distance apart, and we're just going to swing the arms. And as you swing, one arm is going to tap the shoulder, front of the shoulder, and the other hand, back of the hand, is tapping the lower back. You're turning the head as you swing the arms. Just loosening up the shoulders, loosening up the spine. 2 or 3 more. And then just slow down, just like a spring, losing its tension. Across body, it's not holding it, but we're just going to swing, cross body swing we can call it, is we bring the arms parallel to the ground, and you're just swinging them from side to side, and one arm comes over the opposite arm, so alternating which arm is on top, and this is a nice one for the shoulders as well. Good way to warm up. 2 or 3 more. There we go. Bring the feet together. Inhale, bringing the arms up, and as you bring the arms up, you're going to come onto the toes. Exhale as you come down. Inhale, arms up, coming onto the toes. Exhale, coming down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Stay on the toes. Bring the arms parallel to the ground, either out to the side, palms facing down. Flip the hands, palms face up. Flip again. So you're trying to rotate the hands as much as you can. Again, trying to get the back of the hands towards the ground. And then you come back to neutral. And you bring the arms down and you bring the heels down to the ground. Work on the shoulders. Bring the shoulders forward, up, back and down. Up and down. Whatever's feeling good. Shake the arms. Get nice and loose. So try this. This is going to stretch out the back of the leg. So we're just doing a forward fold. And I'm touching the ground with my hands. So my belly is in contact with the legs. Head is totally relaxed. And then I'm just going to bring one hand inside one elbow and the other hand inside the other elbow. So the arms can totally relax. Head is relaxed. And I'm just going to try and keep contact with the legs, but straighten the legs just a little bit more. And we're just going to hold this for a few breaths. Try and keep the head totally relaxed. The idea is we're stretching out the back of the legs. Gentle stretch in the back, shouldn't hurt the back at all. If it starts to bother the back, bend the knees more. Keep breathing. Feel the elbows, the forearms getting closer to the ground. And then we bring the hands down to the ground, bend the knees a bit more, and we just roll up, inhaling as the arms come up. Exhale, back into mountain. Okay, let's do a little bit of flow. Vinyasa. Come to the front of the mat. Inhale into chair. Exhale as you fold forward and down. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands, we walk into plank. We bring the knees down, chin chest goes forward and down. Inhaling into cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We come into warrior one. We'll hold warrior one for a breath or two. And then we exhale into warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. And then we flow to the other side. Coming to plank. Knees, chin, chest to ground. Inhaling to cobra. Exhale, down dog. Remember, no chaturangas if you've got any shoulder issues. Inhale the other leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. Warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Next inhale, reverse warrior. And then we exhale into plank. Chaturanga. Up dog, opening the chest, looking up, down dog, and we hold down dog for a few breaths, maybe 3 or 4 breaths. Child's pose if you prefer, or you could do a vinyasa if you have the energy. Plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. We all end up in downward facing dog. We look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale as you fold forward, relaxing the head, and then back into chair, and then we come all the way up. Inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We're back into plank. Chaturanga, elbows in. You're bringing the whole body forward and down. Inhaling into up dog, looking up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in warrior one. We take a breath or two. And on our next exhale, we're going to warrior two. Reverse warrior. And then this time we're going to do extended side angle pose. So you bring the forearm onto that front knee, extending that top arm. So we're trying to get as straight a line from that top hand all the way through to the back foot. Even that top hand is lined up with the arm. And if you want to go a little deeper, you can slide that lower arm down towards the floor or a block. If this is too much, just keep the forearm on that front leg. You're breathing. Good stretch all the way across that side body. We come back up into warrior two, reverse warrior, and then we flow to the other side. Plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog, hold down dog, and then lift up the left leg and come into warrior one on the other side. Exhale, warrior two. So I'm just going a little deeper into warrior two. I'm walking that front foot forward a little bit so I can go a little deeper. Reverse warrior. And then extended side angle pose. Now if you can go deeper, obviously it's easier to get that left hand down towards the ground as well, which I'm going to do. You don't have to. So I go down slowly and I'm pushing that lower arm into that front leg, leg coming back into the arm, breathing, straight line from that top hand all the way through to that back foot. And then we come back up into warrior two and we do a reverse warrior. We go into plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. And then let's just take a little breather. If you want to hold down dog you can, or do Vinyasa, but I'm going to take a breather and just relax. And then we come back up. So let's do a few lunges. Lunges are good. You can stretch out the quads with the lunges, and then you can come into from a lunge into a hamstring stretch. So let's come to the front of the mat again. Inhale into chair, and then exhale as you fold forward. Inhale halfway up, exhale we plant the hands, we walk into plank, chaturanga, inhaling into up dog, exhale downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up, exhale we sweep that foot through, back knee comes down. So we're in a low lunge. Your right foot should be forward, I'm doing the mirror image. And we're getting a nice stretch on the front of that back leg. That's what we need to open, that area, front of the legs. We need to open the chest in order to be able to go into deeper back bends. Bring the hands down. So we're going to do a little bit of movement here. As we exhale, we're going to extend the leg. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, extend. Inhale, exhale. And then we're just going to hold the extension, and you're going to walk the hands a little bit closer. Ideally that leg is straight, stretching out the back of the leg, hopefully the fingertips on the ground. If not, maybe you can get a couple of blocks either side. Just go as deep as feels good. You don't have to fold forward. But if you want to go into a deeper stretch, you start folding forward a little bit. If it's too much, you stay up. Listen to your back. We come back into the lunge. And then we're going to take this foot over to the side. So the heel is lined up with the knee, toe pointing out. And we're just going from side to side. A little bit of weight on the knee, so you might want to just fold the mat, give yourself a little bit more cushioning. But we're trying to stretch out the adductors here. Just going back and forth, a little bit of dynamic stretching. And then we're just going to hold that side lunge and we bring the other arm up, getting into a side stretch. And then we take the leg over, extended, still over to the side, but we're straightening the leg, toes facing forward, and we bring the forearms to the ground, and we just come forward and back. Again, you're stretching out the adductor, but also a little stretch in the back as you, especially as you move backward. And then we're going to go into a lunge on the other side. Just holding the lunge for a little bit, stretching out the front of that back leg. We bring the hands down and we extend the leg, lunge, extend, lunge, and then we hold the extension for a breath or two or three. I'm trying to get the toe caps pointing towards the ceiling, kneecap towards the ceiling, and the more you fold forward, the more you're going to feel that stretch. If it's too much, you come up, maybe having the hands on blocks. You can bend the knee if you need to, but eventually it would be good to straighten that leg. We then take the leg over to the side, folding the mat. And we just go from little lunges over to the side, side lunges. And then we hold the side lunge and we add the side stretch, bringing that arm over the head as you lunge over to the side. And then we straighten that leg. Still out to the side, but this time toes facing forward, sole of the foot on the ground, forearms to the ground. We bring the whole body forward and back a few times. And then we're back into the lunge. Just where we started, but now we're going to add a twist. So we'll do a twist on each side. So you've probably got your left foot forward. So you're going to twist to your left. So you bring the outer of the right arm onto that front leg. And I try and get a little deeper. I'm trying to get the arm outside the leg. And then I'll bring the palms together. So I'm trying to get a little bit of leverage as I take the twist. And then if you want a little bit more challenge, you bring the back knee off the ground and you hold it for 2 or 3 breaths. And then you slowly lower the knee. We bring the hands either side of the front foot. You get a little bit bouncy. And on an exhale, you switch. Trying to be as quiet as you can. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So you should have the other foot forward, probably right foot. And then we take this twist. So I'm going to try and get a little deeper with that arm. I'm pushing my one hand, back hand into the leg. So I get a little bit of leverage. So I can get the other upper arm outside the leg, palms together, coming into the twist. And breathe. And for those that want more challenge, You can tuck the toes of the back foot, bring that knee off the ground and hold it for 2 or 3 breaths. And then we slowly come down, get into a good twist, plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog, hold down dog. And then look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward, relaxing the head. Bend the knees. And we slowly come all the way up. And then into mountain. Come into a standing position. Weight is on your right foot. Left foot is inside that standing leg, coming into tree, palms together. Take your time, engage the muscles of that standing leg, find something to focus on, and then bring the arms up. Keep that muscles of those standing leg working. Some people like to bring their hands together, fingers touching. Some people just like to keep the arms parallel. Do whatever feels good for you. This is going to strengthen that standing leg, open the hips. You're having to concentrate just to keep the balance. You should be starting to feel it in the leg, those leg muscles working. The foot maybe, that foot is working. And then we bring the hands down and we come out of the pose. We shake everything out, shake the legs, shake the arms, loosen the shoulders. Other side. So another thing I do is I spread my toes. I'm trying to get space between the toes, just to give them a little bit of a stretch. And then my foot is inside the leg, so I'm opening the hips, I'm engaging those quads, I'm relaxing the shoulders, we're trying to open across the collarbone, just like we do when we're seated. Arms up whenever you're ready, fingers touching or hands facing each other, arms parallel. You're breathing. And you should be feeling the weight moving on the foot. That foot is working hard to keep our balance. Also, by looking at something that's not moving, it helps with the balance. If you come out of the pose, that's fine. Just try coming back in. Now this is when I'm starting to feel it more in the leg, back of the leg, calf muscles, the ankle. And then we come out of the pose and we shake out again. Okay, one more standing pose, then we'll do some more back bends. Let's go into eagle. Extend the arms to the side. Bring the right arm under the left arm, getting the back of the hands facing each other, or the palms. Into chair, and then bring the right leg on top. Squeeze those legs and see if you can hook the foot if the knee allows it and you have the flexibility. Go as far as you can, and then you try and center the arms, sit deeper, lean back and breathe. And we come out of the pose. A lot going on eagle. Hip opener, shoulder opener, balance. Extend the arms to the side, bringing the left arm under the right arm. Into chair, take your time. Left leg on top, squeezing those legs, maybe hooking the foot. Sometimes I can hook the foot, sometimes I can't. Today it's working. Once you're there, center the arms, lift the arms up, lean back a little bit, maybe sit a little deeper and breathe. And then come out of the pose, shaking everything out. Okay, couple of back bends. Let's start off with a camel prep. We've been doing backward bends, cobra, upward facing dog, and we did this one, which is good. And you can just do this one again if you prefer. If you want to do the camel prep, we're high up on the knees. We're just going to support the lower back with the hands. Keep the hips over the knees and we just start leaning back. You guys know. And we breathe. I'm working the glutes a little bit. Chin can be tucked, or if the neck is good, you can let the head go back. Trying to open the front body. And then we slowly come up. As you come up, you're lifting the head up, and we come into child's pose. And then back, high up on the knees. So the reason we support the back is quite often when you do a backward bend, the lower back takes it too much. So we're trying to keep that length. You want to try and keep that length even when you're not supporting the back. With a regular camel. If you can't reach the heels, just do the supported camel. Otherwise you bring one arm up to one heel, the other arm up to the other heel. To begin with, my chin is tucked. I shift the hips forward. I'm really getting a good grip on those heels. So I can pull those hips forward as I'm pulling the heels. Then the head goes back carefully. My glutes are working. Trying to open the whole front body and breathe. As I say, if you can't get the hips over the knees or if your arms are dangling, just do the supported camel. If it bothers the lower back, come out of the pose. To come out, you bring one arm up, head comes up as you bring the second arm up, and then usually child's pose, just to relieve the back. Come onto your back, bridge. So if you have a block, you might want a block in case you decide to do a restorative bridge. Feet parallel, and I'm pulling the feet in pretty close. On an inhale, I push into the ground and lift those hips up. Gaze is towards the ceiling. And then we interlace the hands, we walk the arms in nice and close. And the shoulders. And then finally you push in the arms, hands into the ground, head into the ground. Keep the legs parallel, legs working, and breathe. We're opening the chest. Now, for the wheel pose, you can come into wheel from this pose. So I'm walking the feet in a bit closer. I'm on my toes. I bring my hands either side of the shoulders. And then I'm just going to pop onto the top of my head, just for a moment. That'll let me reposition the hands. And then I'll pop up and breathe. Head is totally relaxed. Keep the legs parallel. Stay on the toes if you have any issues with the back. That takes the pressure off the back. And I always usually do my first wheel when I'm on my toes. And as you come down, you tuck the chin. Make sure you tuck the chin. You must tuck the chin so you don't crunch the head. And you come all the way down. If you don't want to do wheel, you can do bridge again. You can slide the block underneath the back and do a restorative bridge. So to come into wheel without bridge, without doing it from bridge, it's the same setup. You're walking the feet in, you're lifting the hips up, you walk the shoulders in close as you bring in the hands either side of the shoulders. My fingers are pointing out slightly. I'm trying not to let the elbows go out. And then I'll just pop up. You don't have to come onto your head first, but I like to. And I pop up. And then if you feel okay with the back, you can bring the feet all the way down to the ground. And then you can lift up a little higher and you breathe. And then as you come down, I come onto my toes, tuck the chin, and I come all the way down. Once you've done the wheel or the bridge, then you can bring the knees in and you can just do a little bit of rocking. Just rocking from side to side. So backward bends are exhilarating. They'll give you lots of energy. Challenging poses. We do too many forward bends during the day normally, especially if you do a lot of computer work, all rounded over the computer and everything. So backward bends are really good, I think. Then we come all the way up. Not that forward bends are not good, because you get a nice hamstring stretch and a bit of a back stretch in a forward bend. If you have a strap, take a strap. Dandasana, staff pose. It's just a seated pose with the legs straight. If you have a strap, you can take the strap around the feet like this. Maybe you don't need a strap. Maybe you can just find the toes. So I'm just going to hold on to the big toes. Next, I'm just going to rock a little bit. So I'm trying to get a little bit of space in the hips. A little bit of rocking. Then I recenter, and I'm trying to bring those hips forward. So you can see as I bring those hips forward, my back gets a little bit more neutral. So I'm trying not to round the back and go down. I'm trying to bring the hips forward as much as I can before I go deeper into the pose. You can hold on to the big toes, the side of the feet, or you can have a strap. Try not to round the back too much. I'd rather you be high like this than rounded like this with the chin tucked. I'd rather you be up like that so you're not putting pressure on the back. Eventually, when you can get the belly in contact with the legs, then you can come all the way down. So I have to grab the feet, I bring those hips forward, I'm still rocking a little bit, my belly is in contact with the legs, so I can feel my belly touching the thighs, so I know I'm okay with the back, my back feels fine with this. And then we come back up. Be careful with forward bends. Keep the legs extended. Bring the hands behind you. So we're going to do a reverse plank. If you'd rather do tabletop, you can pull the feet in. A little bit less pressure on the back. But with the legs straight, you just lift the hips up. And then you try and get the toes closer and closer to the ground. And the head goes slowly back. And you breathe. And we bring the sit bones down. We walk the feet in nice and close. We come into plank. chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. We hold down dog for a breath or two. And then we bring the knees down and we sit on the heels. And then we come into Bodhichanasana. So this time, the soles of the feet together. Again, I'm rocking, and this time the idea is as I rock, I can get the feet in a little closer. Then I become still, and again I'm using that technique of pulling those hips forward to get my back neutral. If you find that your knees are high, your back is rounded, then you want to sit on the block. We then try and encourage the knees closer to the ground. And if you want to just bring the knees up and down, a little bit of flapping, you can do that if it feels good. And then we try and get the knees closer to the ground, opening the inside of the hips. Close the eyes, take a few breaths. And then we come out of that pose. Seated twist. So pull the right foot in nice and close. And you're going to take the other foot, and it can be inside the lower leg, or it can be outside. Try and get the sole of the foot solidly on the ground, and then you're going to hug that knee and come into the twist, or you can bring the arm outside and then into the twist. Take your attention to the shoulders, make sure they're not hunched up. Try not to hunch them up. If they are hunched up, you should be hugging the knee rather than bringing the arm outside the leg. 2 or 3 breaths here. And then we twist in the other direction, switching the legs, hugging the knee, or bring the arm outside. So when I bring it outside, my back, I have to round my back to begin with, and then I'll start straightening up and then get into that twist. And then we unwind. We're on our backs again. Recline pigeon, bringing the outside of the left foot onto the right leg, pulling the legs in nice and close. Activating that foot that's close to you. Tailbone as close to the ground as you can get as you bring those legs closer in. And you're going to feel the stretch on the outside of that hip. Rock from side to side, massaging the back. Find those tight spots in the back. Just give them a little bit of extra attention. Trying to loosen them up. And then we switch. Holding onto the back of the other leg. A little bit of rocking, loosening up the back. Maybe one side is tighter than the other side. I usually find that. And I give that tight side a little bit more attention. Hold it a little bit longer, but you know, it's still tighter. So hopefully that's helping. Trying to get balance. Knees come in, and then happy baby, holding onto the feet, and then see if we can extend the legs into a V. You can hold onto the big toes if you want, or just hold onto the feet. Again, tailbone is nice and low. If you can't straighten the legs, no big deal, just keep the knees bent. And then full body stretch. Legs extended, arms extended over the head. Trying to get as much length as you possibly can. Little bit of a side stretch here, that banana shape. And then stretch out the other side. And then recenter and come into Shavasana. Taking the feet apart, arms either side of you, palms up, eyes closed, totally relax. Maybe lick the lips, moisten the lips. So I usually keep my palms facing upward, back of the hand is down. That tends to open the shoulders a little bit more. Bringing your focus to the breath. Trying to stay present, trying not to be distracted. Just letting yourself sink into the ground. Letting every part of the body get heavy. And then take two or three deeper breaths. Walk the feet in, keeping the eyes closed, roll onto your side, and take 2 or 3 breaths while you're on your side. And then gently push yourself into a seated position. Inhale as you bring the arms up. Exhale as they come down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Keep the palms together. Namaste.